It's March, which means we're a quarter of the way through 2021. The year has already brought us some strong video game launches. Hitman 3 ended the trilogy on a high note, and Super Mario 3D World brought another excellent Wii U game to Switch. The next few months look even better, with games like Deathloop, new Pokémon Snap and Monster Hunter Rise on the horizon. Unlike last year, 2021 doesn't have any flashy new hardware to look forward to, other than maybe a 4K Switch, but there's plenty of promising software to come. This sadly no longer includes Hogwarts Legacy or Gran Turismo 7, which will both now be released next year. Here is a list of the most anticipated games of 2021. Monster Hunter Rise. Following the well-received Monster Hunter World, which launched on PS4 and Xbox One in 2018, and the porting of 3DS game Monster Hunter Generations to the Switch, Nintendo's console is finally getting its own, brand new Monster Hunter game. Like other games in the franchise, it promises a giant world and hundreds of hours of beast slaying. New Pokémon Snap. New Pokémon Snap is a much-demanded follow-up to 1999 and 64 favorite Pokémon Snap. The game, which was announced last summer, will include more than 200 Pokémon species from the series' 8 generations. And Professor Mirror will judge your photography skills as you travel through the region. It should totally rock, taking a game idea from the N64 and adapting it to the Switch, which feels like a perfect console for Poketography. It launches April 30th. Resident Evil Village. Don't let the name fool you. Resident Evil Village is really Resident Evil 8. It's a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7 S story, but developers called it Village to signify how the village the game takes place in is a key element. Not so subtle, but sure to be scary. It looks to be big, too, as its developers have promised a larger game than Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil Village is slated to launch May 7th on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, S and PC. Deathloop. After years focusing mainly on Dishonored, developers Ark and Studios are moving on to a new IP in Deathloop. And it looks sick. Here's the idea. You're an assassin trapped in a time loop that resets after each day. In order to get out, you need to kill 8 visionaries who are scattered around an island. The caveat is that you'll need to do it within one time loop. The second caveat is that, as you hunt for the 8 visionaries, a rival assassin keeps herself busy by hunting you. Deathloop will hit the PlayStation 5 and PC May 21st, with an Xbox version probably coming next year. It has timed console exclusivity for 1 year. Knockout City. The premise of Knockout City looks simple and familiar. Teams of players running around a skate-up-on-gish futuristic city, launching things at each other to get the win. Here, the things are dodgeballs. Knockout City, a cross between Dodgeball and Splatoon, is all about multiplayer. It will support cross-play between PC, Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Xbox One and Series X. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. The latest Ratchet and Clank game was meant to hit the PlayStation 5 during the console's launch window, but when 2020 ended it still didn't have a release date. After a few months of silence, it was revealed in February that Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart would release on June 11th. This is a PlayStation 5 exclusive to look forward to. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Integrad. Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to the PlayStation 5, but it's not just getting the standard 60 frames per second at 4K treatment. Final Fantasy VII Integrad brings a new chapter to the story in which you play as Yuffie, a favorite from the original game. Launching June 10th, owners of 7 Remake on the PS4 will get a free upgrade. Mario Golf Super Rush. Mario is dusting off his clubs for another 18 holes. Mario Golf Super Rush reprises the N64 single-S Mario Golf, and is Mario's third sports jaunt on the Switch after tennis and the Winter Olympics. Super Rush includes a promising multiplayer mode, as well as a role-playing single-player mode that stars your Mii. Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword HD. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2 is still coming along, but it looks a while away. In the meantime, Nintendo is reviving Skyward Sword, released in 2011 on the Wii, for the Switch. Skyward Sword HD will run at 60 frames per second, enjoy amiibo support, and use the Joy-Cons to control Link's sword and shield. No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes is a hack-and-slash game series that began all the way back in 2008 on the Wii. It's since amassed a considerable cult following, and has enjoyed strong critical acclaim. After a COVID-19 related delay, No More Heroes 3 will release on Switch on August 27th. Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Pokémon Red and Blue got a remake on Game Boy Advance, Silver and Gold on the DS, and Ruby and Sapphire on 3DS. Pearl and Diamond, originally released on the DS in 2007, are up next. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are coming to Switch in late 2021. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time Remake. Remasters are cool, but remakes can be truly magical. After Shadow of the Colossus, Resident Evil 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, three fantastic remakes, 2021 brings Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Originally released in 2003 for the PlayStation 2, Ubisoft is giving the platformer a full 2021 do-over. Hopefully. The game was originally slated for January 2021, but was then delayed to March. It's been delayed again, but Ubisoft hasn't given it a new date yet. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is slated to launch on PC, Xbox One and PS4. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. LEGO Star Wars is back after 5 years. The last time we saw the franchise was with 2016 The Force Awakens. This game seems far more ambitious. The Skywalker Saga LEGO is as all 9 Star Wars films. The Skywalker Saga doesn't have a final release date just yet, but it's expected in the first or second quarter. When it is released, it'll hit PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S, Switch and PC. Far Cry 6. Originally scheduled for February, Far Cry 6 has been delayed until an unknown date in 2021. But it's set to be the biggest, most fully featured Far Cry yet and is set in the tropical region of Yara, loosely based on Cuba. Not only will the game launch on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, S, PC and Google Stadia, it'll also come to Amazon's Luna platform. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. The headlining trailer for last year's Game Awards was a new Mass Effect. That's probably a long way off though. The upside: more time for remastered Mass Effect goodness. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is comprised of updated versions of Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 and will launch on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite was meant to be the big thing that launched alongside the Xbox Series X, S, but after poor fan response to a preview last year, it ended up delayed until fall of 2021. The Halo name alone makes this a must-play for most Xbox owners, and developers 343 Industries are trying something new by making the multiplayer free-to-play. Lord of the Rings, Gollum. After the 2 Middle-earth games showed that Lord of the Rings games can still rock, 2021 will bring another serving in the form of Lord of the Rings, Gollum. It won't be the action RPG that the Middle-earth games were, focusing instead on Gollum's stealth and cunning, but it looks intriguing. Lord of the Rings, Gollum will come to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, S, Switch and PC. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the best games on the PlayStation 4, and its sequel is coming in 2021. Horizon Forbidden West tracks Aloy's journey to 30th century Utah, Nevada and California as she tracks down the origins of a killer virus. Truly, a game for our times. Horizon Forbidden West will launch on both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 this year. God of War, Ragnarok. Speaking of outstanding PS4 games and their sequels, God of War, Ragnarok is also coming to PlayStation 4 and 5 this year. That's actually all we know about the game so far, as the teaser for the game contained only half a logo in the release window of 2021. And that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Bye bye.